Yeah, we've done our reviews, or we're continuing to do our reviews from the Portland game, and just in preparation for this weekend. We're going to put Portland behind us at some point and train and get everyone back acclimated to what we're doing and how we want to play, and sort of reinforce the groundwork that we've laid and the principles that we've laid. So that's been our main focus, but video hasn't been easy, I can tell you that. We had to point out the things that we did poorly that we weren't accustomed to really, but I think the players acknowledge it and have trained really well yesterday and trained really well today, so hopefully we can take that and build going forward.
Ryan just mentioned a little uncharacteristic, chaotic out there on Sunday. Just kind of what was, maybe when you look at that, attributes, not all the players in the World Cup were even in the lineup, so what do you see when you see that?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to put my finger on it because it's something we haven't done all year. We've been really structured and organized, and I think we just lost our way. And I think once they went down a player in the 19th minute, I think we went into sort of a lull, and just sort of thought it was going to be easy. But we're dealing with true professionals and a well-rounded group in Portland. And look, at the end of the day, they were just better than us. And people could say, "Oh, well, we lost. We're down a player." It happens. You still have to play, and if you do things right. They went into a 4-3-2 and they defended properly. It's the normal front two defending, and then they had their middle three. They had their back four structured. They have all world-class players. We're young, and I think the environment got the best of us a little bit, but we turned the ball over so easily, and because we weren't in a good structure in our attack, it left us open, especially on Sof's goal. But those are all things that I warned them about before the game in our pregame notes, and saying we can't have this happen, and they happened. And we don't get everything right, but, those moments paid. And if anything, it just allows for us to hit the reset button and learn that we're not perfect, and we got to stay true to who we are. But yeah, we just went erratic for some reason, and that happens. It's one game out of 20 plus that we've done that. So.
I think Ryan kind of described it as a bit chaotic, but watching the game Sunday, it seemed kind of like impatience out there. Is that kind of what you were seeing as well?
Yeah, normally we're really comfortable on the ball. We're simple. And the one thing I told the players before the game is when we get it into the wider channels and the half spaces, not to open ourselves up just to play one direction and leave yourself open for other directions. And we ended up taking ourselves too wide, and then we forced it, and it was an easy pressing trigger. And we limited our options where we had more options maybe centrally because of the overload. So, and then the second goal comes because we're just in too big of a shape in the transition spaces, and we're dealing with Soph Smith, who's to me one of the best forwards in the world, if not the best, when she's really on, and kids on a mission. And then we just weren't protected in our positioning when we lost it. There was too much space in front of our back four, and the spaces we were too big, and then those were and that's where they punished us. It ended up being 2v2. They drew the center backs in, and then they extended out, and now all of a sudden we get pulled apart. Could we have stopped it on a foul? Yeah, we could have stopped it, but we didn't. We're too nice. But we forced decisions. We had over 100 turnovers, and that's not acceptable. We have to be better with the ball, and hopefully we can do that home this weekend.
In film sessions, when you point out the mistakes that they made, do you do it I'm trying to get your coaching philosophy. Do you do it in a brutal way? How do you do it? That look is scary.
No, we paint it, so we put images on the video so they can see it. It's just honest. If you can't be honest with these players at this stage, then what am I doing? We can't sugarcoat it. I can't be like, hey, this was really good, guys. So basically what I did was I took the pregame notes, I highlighted the things that cost us the goals and said, this is what we said don't do, or we didn't want to do. And I highlighted them and said, this is what we did, and this is why we gave up the goals. And the video is just attributed to that. But we have to give them pictures of things that they don't do well, otherwise they're not going to learn. If I go in there after we lose 2-1 and didn't play well and said, this was great, they can look at me and say, Coach, come on. How they handle it is completely up to them. But it's not, person A, you were terrible, but the video doesn't lie. If you force a pass and I turn around and say, great job, I'm lying, and this is the thing. We've praised them so much this year. We're really proud of the group. I have trust that group wholeheartedly. But when we don't play well, they have to see it. And I can be honest with you, that's probably the hardest we've been on them in video, and We're going to be hard on them again today with the out of possession stuff, but it's the only way they're going to get better. It's not personal. You know, I think sometimes players take it personal, but it's not. They're pros. They want to be great. Our job is to hold them accountable, and we move on once we see it. That's it. If I continue to harp on it, then now it becomes personal. If it's a reminder, you know, like I told Ryan, she kept forcing her passes. I said, well, in this possession drill, if I blow the whistle, I'm not going to say a word to you. It's just because that's your reminder to say that's not the pass. Not for me to blow the whistle and then hit her. She already knows she made a bad pass. But, yeah, we got to be honest in these videos. It wouldn't be fair to them. We love them to death, but we didn't perform at the level we want, and that's the way professional sports is.
Seems like in today's session there was a lot of emphasis on keeping their structure and
Yeah.
getting it out to the wings, passing it back,
Yeah.
taking a deep breath and being like, okay,
Yeah.
think about what you're doing. How do you kind of hammer that in? Obviously, you're doing it in practice, but how do you hope that translates to Sunday?
Yeah, I think it's just reinforcing what's gotten us to this stage. You know, let me remind everybody again, no one predicted us to be in this position. And I think we're way ahead of schedule, and I think people say, oh, we're overachieving. No, we're achieving what we thought. We just believe in what we do. And wherever that takes us at the end of the season, playoffs, not playoffs, Challenge Cup championship, not Challenge Cup championship, it doesn't mean we didn't get better this year. We have one of the youngest teams, one of the more inexperienced teams in the league. So we want them to get back to what's worked. And when you lose your way a little bit, it's just to reel them back in, you know, and let them know that, hey, look, this is what we've done well, and we're not doing that now. This is what works. And we have to reinforce it because, look, these players have been trained throughout their whole careers to play a certain way. You know, Ryan's been coached to go box to box, box to box, box to box. Now we're teaching her a little bit something different to get her on the ball a little bit more. And probably 5 years ago, Ryan would have never thought that. But we're also doing it to help her better defensively. You know, we have attacking players above her, so can we utilize them? So, yeah, we want to be cleaner on the ball. You know, we're still trying to fill in some pieces, incorporate some of the new players, Manaka, Rikaku, you know, but we want to get back to who we are. The good thing is we're home. Portland and Angel City were probably our worst two games, and those are the two toughest places to play. With inexperienced players, it doesn't make it any more easy. So, but we'll be better for it, that's for sure.
First week back in training for Carol, she was pretty anxious out there to get back into action every time she was sitting out.
Yeah.
How sad it is to have her back and to see her.
Yeah, she doesn't like being pulled out. She won't be pulled out this weekend. But look, she's a footballer. She wants to help us be successful. I think she has a little bit of an edge to her as well after the World Cup. You know, I know that was hard on her because they had aspirations, and sometimes those things don't happen. And look, the best team in the World Cup won, in my opinion. They won. They deserve to win. But we're happy to have Carol back. She's an exciting player, and she's coming with a smile on her face. And part of it's also to manage her load a little bit, just so we're not overdoing it. We went a little bit longer today than we normally do, but we had so many numbers. But yeah, it's great to have Carol back, and I'm looking forward to having her back under the lights. If we were home, she would have played this past weekend. They all would have. But to have them fly across the country again would have been detrimental, and that's the perks of playing home compared to playing away after the break. So, yeah, Foxes, we're getting there, so it's good.
You talked about, you know, like, So Smith being on a mission in Carolina,
Yeah.
you jumping at the bit. How do you help them kind of manage that edginess so that they don't kind of either injure themselves or kind of get a little too outside of themselves?
Yeah, I mean, injuries are going to happen, you know, knock on wood, and you can't control that, but we can manage their load a little bit and build them back up. But, you know, it's us knowing the players. If I see Carol's trying to do too much, then it's my job to say, hey, look, let's reel it in a little bit, do this a little bit differently, so maybe it opens up what you're trying to do. She has to know that the world's not on her shoulders here. She's another piece of the puzzle, and she was flying before the World Cup, and hopefully we can get her back into that. She plays a different role in the World Cup. She plays a lot deeper, which I don't think suits her. I think she's better wide. But yeah, we just got to keep an eye on her and not let her get too emotional and put pressure on herself. We don't put pressure on her, and we know she's one of the best footballers in the world, and we'll let her be who she is, but we have to also make sure that she does it in a way where she doesn't get frustrated.
Do you think the level of competition is higher since your players returned from the World
You talking about within training?
Within training.
Yeah, I think the level automatically jumps because those players that were here throughout the World Cup got so much emphasis on them. But you're bringing back world-class players. I think, if anything, it's allowed us as a staff to say, well, we could put this player in this spot now. They've earned that time. And like Haley Hopkins has had a massive growth from before the World Cup till now, and that's attributed to her work. Sydney Collins has grown, but you're bringing in Emily Fox, who's one of the best outside backs in the world. You have Rika and Mila, you have Caro. So if I'm a player, it's like, whew, we're bringing in Manaka, who's, I don't know if you guys watch Manaka, but she's an 18-year-old phenom. And she just turned 18. So, I think we're doing the right things, but the team is focused on this we over me concept. And the moment that is thrown to the wayside, I remind them. And it's as simple as, so we went from we over me to me over we. And if that stays, then you won't be playing. We're in crunch time, and the best players are going to play, but that could be anyone on any given day now. The players that got us into the Challenge Cup semifinals, they'll be rewarded. They've been rewarded. But we also have to do what's right. So each week is codependent on that week. And, it's not easy, but it's pro sports.
Nicholas, via Zoom? Everything I got asked. Okay, great. Anybody else in here? Awesome. Thank you, Sean. Best of luck.
Thanks, guys. That was a good one.